sure everything is live. Yes, fantastic. Hey guys, welcome to the NA $75 Daily. I am Psylence, and joining me here soon will be uGpSwip's Pokebunny. If he will answer my call. How you guys doing? I'm doing pretty good. Myself.
Oh, my bad.
Hey, what's up, Pokebunny?
Sorry, I was on busy, and I did not quite realize that, it didn't show up even as a notification. It just was completely invisible.
Not to worry, man. Not to worry. All right. If you guys don't know who Pokebunny is, I mean, how long have you been watching StarCraft for? Obviously, you just started. Pokebunny, why don't you introduce yourself again, probably, because you've probably done this. Did you cast yesterday?
I did. That was my first time.
Oh, wow.
I casted with Sham, too. Well, it was not my first time casting. It was first time casting Playhem.
Okay.
I casted a couple times with Mr. Bitter before, for Map of the Month tournaments. I casted a little bit with my old teammate Whiplash a while back. But that's about it. But
Cool.
I do have a lot of fun casting, so I'm glad to be here tonight.
All right, looks like I'm having some problem with sound. Hopefully everything is checked out here. Apparently your voice is robotic. I'm going to get you to call me, and hopefully that'll resolve the problem. All right. I don't know why your voice sounded robotic. You sounded perfectly fine to me, man.
I see. Well, here I am. Hopefully it's a little bit better now. I don't know.
I'll actually crank you up, too.
I'm guessing if you don't hear it differently, I would guess it more likely be an issue on the stream side rather than the Skype side,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Could be either.
Just make sure all the sound's going. It's always what kind of sucks when you're just starting up for streaming settings. Like you have your settings correct. You're like, I've done this a million times already, and then you go live and it's like, nope, sounds aren't working. What's
Something's gotta mess up
I know.
every time.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have the issue, like, sometimes when I stream, like, my screen just randomly deletes itself from one of my scene setups.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the screen is just not even there. Like, it's just my webcam in the corner, and no one can actually see the screen.
Okay. All right. Looks like we're okay. I'm going to crank your volume. Apparently people cannot hear you. I'm probably gonna have to up the Skype or StarCraft volume just a little bit here. All right, I think we're ready.
I'm ready to go whenever you are.
I'm ready as well, man.
Sounds great. Seems like we're gonna be getting into this game of uGpSwip versus RedDragon.
Do you have any experience against these guys, or?
uGpSwip is a little familiar. He's definitely a very good player. Pretty much all the UGP players are Koreans, and they're all very good. I have played against uGpV, uGpSS. They all have very strange names. And they're all very good players. I got taken out by them a couple times in the best of 3 stages, so should be pretty scary for Mr. RedDragon here. I am not familiar with him.
Yeah, I mean, early on like this, obviously, higher seeded players are going to play against lower seeded players. So RedDragon, probably an unknown. But
Yeah.
like you said, UGP, their team's actually really solid. We see a lot of presence in Playhem, actually. So, I mean, Swip's got to be pretty decent.
Yep.
As well. Okay, let's start off this game here. On the right-hand side of Antigua Shipyard, we have our red Terran player, uGpSwip, and his opponent. Getting slight bits of lag there. Hopefully it's not me. We have the blue Zerg player, relatively unknown to both Pokebunny and I. We have RedDragon.
Alright, so we are on Antigua Shipyard. I'm not sure if this is GSL. It is GSL, so it is Force Cross, so that you both know that it's cross. MLG version was actually recently changed to be not cross only. You can actually spawn in all positions now on MLG Antigua Shipyard, which has caused some confusion in tournaments as they basically made this change unannounced. But we are on GSL, so that will be confirmed cross, and nothing too unique so far, although RedDragon does seem to be scouting towards the bottom location.
I don't know if I agree with going non-cross for MLG on this map. I feel like even making this a two-player map and making it cross positions is it's a lot better. I mean, everyone talks about the positional imbalance of the third base. That's obviously the main concern, right? But I believe that Playhem actually uses. It's probably not MLG's.
Yeah, this is GSL.
Yeah.
I did check the bracket, and we have 2 racks on 11 going down for uGpSwip. I do see a lot of the Koreans and top players use this in the early rounds. Yesterday we saw TSL Heart basically roll through the entire bracket using this. I mean, it's really a great way for a high-tier Terran to dispatch of a Zerg with less experience rather quickly, as they simply just can't keep up with such good control and are just fall straight away to the 2 ranks.
Yeah, I see that a lot actually, where higher league players, like you said, or higher tier players, often go for a cheesier build. Let's say for Protoss example, we have like a 4-gate against another Protoss who's lesser skilled, and they just rely on their micro and swiftness of their builds.
Yeah.
And I actually don't think Swip is actually keen to actually this being cross only, because this of course is the GSL version of this map.
I'm not sure if I should tell them or not, but I guess at this point it's a little late.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, but they should know that it is cross only. It's a shame we didn't tell them that beforehand. Anyway, he is moving across the map with Marines and SCVs. Either way, he'll be a little sad to find that it is cross positions, as this will make his rush slightly less effective. However, RedDragon did not put down his pool until around 17 rather than right after the hatchery, so his lings will be slightly delayed here. As well as he did not actually save any larva, so he's going to be a little hurting for lings in the early stages of this defense.
I'm actually surprised he's, I was going to say not pulling a few more drones here, but we do see more drones on the way from the main base. Takes out that SCV, building that initial bunker, but one more SCV is still available here. 2 Marines now reinforcing 2 lings on the way here, but that's not going to be quite enough yet, as more and more reinforcements are on the way here for Swip. Microing back the Marine. 2 more reinforcing Marines are on the way here. Moving back the 1 hurt Marine. Very nice control there by Swip. The bunker actually is able to complete here, but will the Marines be able to get in the bunker? You know what, Swip, it doesn't look like he's going to commit to it. He's going to hop into the bunker just slightly, but actually, I was going to say that he might actually be detrimental to him.
That was definitely a bit of a mistake there, actually. The lings were completely surrounding the bunker, and when the bunker died immediately after the Marines hopped in, they were completely dead. We also do have gas mining for RedDragon. He should be starting link speed any time here. That's actually kind of an important thing. One thing you notice a lot against 2-ranks play is Zergs often have to delay their gas to get off and get out enough defenses early on, especially against such an aggressive 11-11 2-ranks. But RedDragon has gotten up his gas in good time. He does have 164 gas banked up. I'm surprised we have not seen him start any link speed yet here, as well as a Roach Warren going up, while Swip has put down his expansion and continues to pressure. Yeah,
super fast Roach Warren here. It may just because Hellions are so common on Antigua Shipyard. I like this little pressure here from Swip. He's just moving in these Marines, catching off a couple Zerglings here, forcing a few more Zerglings. He may even get that Queen if Dragon isn't too careful here. And he's just pressuring right now as he establishes his expansion. So, actually, RedDragon's got to be a little bit careful here. He doesn't want to lose that Queen. Spinecrawler does get canceled. Second Queen on the way here. And I think it's time for Swip to back up right now. He's forced a lot more units than he has. Actually, you know what? With only 2 more Zerglings right now,
yeah,
he can just sit out the base.
Zergling speed has also not yet been started, which is a really huge thing, because basically the way 2-ranks works is this pressure can pretty much infinitely go on until there are either 2 Spinecrawlers, Roaches, or link speed.
Yeah.
Those things are the only things that can really shut down a 2-ranks. If you've got 1 Spine, a couple Queens, and some slow lings, he can just continually micro back and forth around the natural and continue to force more lings and Roaches here. 2 more queens also coming out. He did lose 1 queen and is now down to just 1, but he is producing 2 more. Meanwhile, Swip has established his expansion and gone up to 4 barracks, walling off his natural entirely.
So we'll have to wait and see what Swip's follow-up is going to be from this. Obviously, 4 barracks, he's going to be relying on a very heavy, what I would assume to be a Marine Corps, although now that he's seen the Roaches, he may actually switch into Marauders. Just a dash Marauder. Obviously, you don't want to commit too heavily to Marauders when, usually Zergs will just, throw in a couple Roaches just for strictly defense. And actually, I'd say I call this a fairly fast lair here from RedDragon. Not going for an earlier third, let's say, but just staying content off 2 base. Only making 1 spine crawler right now. I guess he feels that after he held that 2 barracks pressure, there's really not going to be too much happening relatively soon here, but I think he's going to be completely wrong. With Stim finishing up here, I'm assuming we're going to see a factory, and we may even see a double medevac timing here from Swip. That would be my guess. What would your guess be, Pokebunny, from here? Because obviously you are the more experienced Terran player than I am.
All right, so this lair, first of all, it's early-ish, but the reason it kind of feels so early is because he didn't get that link speed, which is kind of weird. Generally you'd see the link speed go down and then the lair, and that kind of makes it feel more like a standard timing. I mean, time-wise, it's actually really not all that early. He's only, his lair is just finishing here at 9:30, which is fairly standard and actually probably slightly late, although, I mean, he obviously had to deal with that 2 racks pressure. Yeah. Terran does have a few Marauders. This is a good amount of Marauders. Marauders are really effective against slow Banelings and Roaches early on, so I really like this use of the Marauders to pressure. Factory just starting. Looks like he's just going to be pushing out. He's not even going to have Stim and Combat Shields quite in time for this push, so RedDragon should be able to handle this without too much trouble. Upgrades also starting for Swip.
Yeah, this is actually pretty common where we see double Tech Lab. Stim and Combat Shields usually started at the same time here, but obviously Stim started just a little bit earlier here. But it looks like it actually will time out pretty decently here for Swip as Combat Shields and Stim should finish. And actually this third, there's really no way for RedDragon to hold this. I'm hoping that he cancels before it actually, or hoping that he realizes, yeah, there goes the cancel. Only losing a third of those minerals.
He did just make a bit of a mistake, as he did realize that he actually has Baneling speed almost done, but has not yet started Zergling speed, and now he just starts it up over here. That's a bit of an uncomfortable position when your Banelings are faster than your Zerglings. We've got a starport going up for Swip, as well as a reactor on the factory, so he will be going straight into medevac play. Reactors constructed on the other barracks as well. Still no sign of a third for him, but that's alright, as he has effectively denied RedDragon's third, and basically has contained him entirely to 2 bases, as well as forced out a lot of Roaches and Banelings, which will severely limit his tech unit count, such as Infestors or Mutas, and he does happen to be going for Infestors here.
I think I really like the Infestor play, or the choice of going Infestors. Actually, you know what? RedDragon's going to try and move out here. Stim coming from the Marines and Marauders. More reinforcements. I do not like that, actually, whatsoever. Nice control there by Swip, actually, leaving the Marauders in front for the Banelings to possibly detonate here. And actually, Swip's going to move on forward here. Again, this slow link disadvantage here. Missing the link speed is super crucial here. And the Marauders are able to tank and do, deal a little bit of damage here, but it's mostly the Marine Corps that's helping out here. Roaches, reinforcements. Actually, here come the Banelings yet again. They're going to go after the Marines. Decent here, actually getting 2 Marines. And now Swip's reinforcing army remains here. With 3 spine crawlers up, though, he's not going to be able to break it for the time being. But he's forced a ton of lings right now. Current worker count is 58 to 51 in favor of the Terran player. And you can just tell by the supplies right now, Pokebunny, it's 105 to 72. With Terran quite in the lead, and obviously he's going to be committing to a very heavy bio push. Actually, he may, elevator into the main here. Yeah.
The factory's also been lifted across the maps, which signifies he basically has 0 plans to build tanks, probably because he expects to just kill his opponent off from here within the next couple minutes, which I would agree with pretty much. He is going straight into the main, taking out some tech. The key Baneling nest will not go down, just kidding. He is not upgrading all too fast. I mean, he does have the +1 upgrade and the +1 armor going, but, with pure bio play, you often see very early upgrades to take advantage of how you won't be spending gas, really, on factory units. All the units being elevated up into the main as the Infestor's coming out, but there is no energy upgrade for these Infestors. so he won't be able to do a whole lot with them. It's actually teching towards Hive right away, while trying to desperately hold off this attack. But he's definitely going to be in trouble here as he's down to just 57 supply, and his tech is getting completely picked away.
Yeah, there's going to be really no solution here for RedDragon as more and more reinforcements are coming on the way. There's the GG from RedDragon. uGpSwip takes that game pretty convincingly here, this first game. So, with that game finishing up, we're going to roll to a quick commercial break. Stay tuned for the next round of the Playhem Daily, $75. Yeah. I think I gotta turn down. I
didn't really like Swip's build, to be honest, but it worked out either way. Didn't really have a whole. Didn't really matter all that much considering he was so far ahead. He just completely was better than that guy.
Yeah, you obviously could tell. I mean, RedDragon. Honestly, I'm not quite sure why he went for such a really fast Hive. I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
Especially off 2-base. Like he's like, okay, got an infestation pit, gonna go Hive. Well, you don't really have. I mean, sure you could go ultras, but your opponent's kind of going mass bio, and ultras really, not good against Marine Marauder, medevac.
Yep. Well, I mean, for getting a link speed and like the infestor energy is kind of
that was
real killer there.
Yeah, that was really. I mean, with the early Marine pressure, did a lot more damage than it really should have.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like we'll be going into another of Swift's games.
Let's take a look. Oh, this is TVT. Obviously, we're catering to you, Pokebunny. Well, you know what, Pokebunny, you're just full of knowledge. You're like, what's so awesome is that as a caster, I will openly admit that my game knowledge is very lacking, in my opinion. It's obviously I can see stuff and be like, oh yeah, he's going for a timing attack. Everything's lining up. But having a player's perspective and the in-depth knowledge of a player and like, yeah, well, he's thinking this obviously because he's doing this, and you've obviously been in this situation. It's such a great help to have. It's a great helping hand, and I just want to thank you for coming on, Pokebunny.
No problem. I actually really don't mind TVT. I've noticed a lot of the playhems, the casters seem to be very against casting TVT, but I actually okay, just kidding, it's TVZ.
Yeah.
You had me confused there for a second.
Yeah. He, oh, ilovefate wants to cheat, obviously. He's like, Playhem TV.
Oh.
I gotta, we're getting robots. Okay. Looks like these players are ready. Let's get the game going. So it looks like we're just gonna follow Swip all the way through until, until we're waiting for matches to happen, and then we might switch over to other players. Okay, so I'm gonna actually take down the StarCraft volume just a little bit. One notch, and I'm going to up your volume a little bit. Okay, Pokebunny, why don't you take the introductions away, man?
Alright, so starting out here in the bottom right-hand corner of Tal'Darim Altar, we have uGpSwip, a Korean Terran. And in the top right, we have the orange Zerg ilovefate, who I'm not very familiar with. It sounds like a Korean Smurf name, but that's completely speculation. I have no idea at all. But one thing to note right off the bat is that these are very favorable positions for the Terran. As you can see, he can push straight up to the bottom cliff of that Zerg natural, which is, in my opinion, it can be game deciding in very often in this matchup. I personally feel that if you get these positions as a Terran, it's very Terran favored, and if you get any other positions, it's very Zerg favored. So at least by feel, for me, it will definitely be much easier for Swip to push with Marine Tank against his opponent in these positions. I mean, something like a simple Reactor Hellion into a 3-tank push with 1 medevac, just drop some Marines up on that cliff and put the tanks on the low ground, and the Zerg will definitely be in a lot of trouble. Another 2 racks coming out, though. We got an 11 racks at the natural.
Yeah, 11 racks again here from Swip. obviously trying to catch or do a little bit of damage here to ilovefate, maybe thinking that he's going to get just a little bit more greedy on Tal'Darim Altar with such a huge map. You know, it's going to give him a lot of time to react. ilovefate, obviously. So, but you know what? With him not scouting the Terran right away, he's not going to see the 11-11 racks. But he should, if he's a good player, which he's Masters League, so he's decent, right? He's not
He's
like
competent.
Yeah, you know, he's not like, oh, I'm just gonna make 3 hatcheries first, and then I'm gonna make some overlords. You know, he's not gonna forget ling speed. Let's say, whoa.
Ouch.
Uh,
Also, one interesting thing to note is that he has gone for the gas before the spawning pool, which is kind of what you usually want to do in a more macro-oriented game, as it does make it a little bit difficult to hold off these initial Marines. As you can see, a Marine is already moving across the map with support of an SEV, while the spawning pool is not even halfway done, so he will have to pull off some nice drone micro in order to prevent this bunker from going down. You know, it's definitely very obvious that he hasn't yet scouted the Terran, and he did a very weird scout pattern, so he completely missed the Terran.
I'm actually
bunker going down as well.
Yeah. This bunker positioning, obviously, there's not a really, really good bunker positioning. Let's say instead of like Shattered Temple, where we can wrap it around where the ramp comes out here. But a lot of drones here being pulled. Looks like 5, 6, 7 drones on the way out here. 3 attacking the bunker. But with 3 Marines already out, actually, right now, looks like ilovefate is going to lose maybe a couple drones here if he's not too careful. Actually, the Overlord, a little bit misplaced here from ilovefate. He was trying to using that to spot it. The bunker actually does complete, and I believe, actually, yeah, the bunker's definitely within range of that of that hatchery for sure. Lots of Zerglings out here now for ilovefate, and Swip is just going to retreat back to this bunker now, and now Fate's in a very hard position to break this, and actually he's going to move out here. Oh no, I don't like this at all. He just does not have enough units to even try and break this bunker. Obviously just trying to deter the Marines coming in and out here, but he's waiting for the spine crawler to actually finish. But Swip's doing a good job actually moving forward as these Marines, more and more Marines actually coming here for Swip. Oh man, I just don't like, Fate. He got a little bit overeager there, I think, with pulling only 3 drones and only had a handful of Zerglings there.
Honestly, I think he lost the game as soon as he was unable to prevent the bunker from going down before the 3 Marines got there. There was really nothing he could do with his build order. I mean, he just, as you can see, he hasn't even started Queens yet, and he's mined 250 gas, which, mining that much was obviously an unintentional mistake made during the heat of battle, but yeah, he's just gonna fall straight away to those 2 racks. There's nothing he can do. He's valiantly making an effort to take down this bunker, but GG comes out from ilovefate, and uGpSwip will quickly advance into the 3rd round of Playhem. Although, maybe 4th round. I'm not sure if he started in the 2nd round or not.
I'm going to ask our admin if he's got commercials, because I don't want to run 2 commercials, obviously, at once, because people are like, God, what is the commercial? Just 5. Yeah, blah, blah. Okay, we're going to follow uGpSwip to the next round yet again. Keep it rolling here. Maybe we'll see maybe a different matchup from Swip now. I mean, obviously we can see what he does. His opener, 11-11 racks against Zerg. So stay tuned. We're going to hit to a quick commercial break. Run that commercial, Luca. Oh, man. 2 racks. Pretty good. I don't know if you saw, but there's the Playhem thread where we took all the replays and threw them into an analyzer, right? And oh no, was it that thread? I can't remember, but no, it was a different thread actually where it looked at game time and what the percentage of win rate is as the game progressed. So in like the matchup TVZ, like win rates at like very early times was like very Terran favored. You could obviously, it was like, well, because they 2 racks. Yeah, exactly.
Well, also, I mean, if you notice looks like we're gonna be going in. Oh God, no, a NYqBonk game.
That's funny. That's right, man. Oh, man.
Yeah, Bonk actually casted me.
It's like a reverse.
Inception.
I gotta remember these
The
overlays.
caster becomes the casted.
Oh no!
There's
What?
actually a auto overlay switcher.
Yeah, I need to get that, man.
Rich made. It's really good. Completely seamless and perfect, and makes my life easy. Cause I mean, when I stream on my own, I forget like every single game,
Yeah.
and people are like whining at me all game long.
Never stop the whining. Okay. Wait. I don't know what we're waiting for, Luca. I heard a Villa. What? Get at it. Get out, Luca.
We are ready, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely ready.
All right, sounds good. At least this map is not quite as conducive to turtling. The expos are very spread out.
Mhm.
But yesterday I had the privilege, the anti-privilege of watching a Villo versus Puck game on Metropolis, which is basically there are 5 bases that take like that are like 2 feet from your natural,
Mhm.
and then like the rest of the map is super open. And so Avillo just sat in his base and built 10 battle cruisers and just mass dropped ghosts and nukes until he had sufficient battle cruisers and then killed his opponent.
Ah, my head hurts. Oh my goodness. Okay, on the top right-hand corner, we have the green Protoss player, a commentator here for Playhem.tv. It is Bonk. And in the top left-hand corner, we have what could be a good nickname for him? I'm not gonna say Macro Terran because that's really giving
Snail
him.
Terran.
Yeah, there you go. I was like, that was giving him way too much credit. The Snail Terran. It's gonna be a Villo. Choose some purple.
All right. So here we once again have Tal'Darim Altar, and of course Avillo plays so slowly that he was on the round before by the time we finished our last Tal'Darim Altar game. He's also dropping from the game, possibly here.
GG.
But either way, we do have a PvT on Tal'Darim. I do like this map for this matchup. Not personally to play, but to watch. It's a pretty entertaining map. The reason I hate playing this map is it's just so annoying to take bases past your third as a Terran player.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I really feel that is great for Protoss on this map is the expos are so spread out, but they're also far away from your opponent. Like, there are some maps that have spread out expos, but that just means they're impossible to take. Like, maps with really hard thirds, like dual site or something. You know, that's kind of tough for Protoss because it's almost impossible to establish a third. But a map like this, the expos are really spread out, but they're also really far away from the Terran, which is really good for Protoss because it's easy for him to use warp-ins to defend all his bases, and it's very hard for them to get dropped. Drop play is very effective on this map, I will say that, but I definitely feel like this map starts off probably slightly in favor of Terran, but definitely edges towards Protoss as the game goes on.
I mean, as we wait here for Villo, you bring some excellent points up, obviously. We see a lot of... well, I'm not going to say we see a lot of through-base play because that's actually not true.
See a lot of one-base play.
Yeah.
It's round 2.
I mean, yeah. But on this map specifically, like, I know, like, mentally, you just feel like you want to stay on 3 bases because everything... I feel like taking your 4th base is just a little bit like further away. Like your 3 bases are all nice and close together. It's like your neighborhood, your little suburb that you got your neighbors and stuff like that. And you want to stay there, right? You don't want to move away to like a far 4th base, but sometimes you go to the 4th base and it's just a lot better and you get so much more money and you end up being a lot more profitable. And that is basically the story of Tal'Darim. You got your suburb of 3 expansions and then you move away and you get richer.
Yeah, I feel the key thing for Terran on this map against Protoss is it's actually fairly difficult for Protoss to take 3rd here, and it looks like such an easy 3rd. You could say, I mean, how could it be hard for Protoss? But the key is that there's this cliff over the 3rd that makes it nearly impossible to play 2-base Colossus, because that cliff is so strong for Vikings. You literally just sit Vikings on that cliff, and he can't defend his 3rd, because Colossus just can't walk through that narrow pathway without getting hit 20 times.
Yeah.
And that's a really key timing for Terran. But if Protoss can establish his 3rd base and get both Templar and Colossus tech up, can be really hard for Terran to get back. However, it's also Nexus first, and a bunker is going down for Avillo. He's only on 1 Rax and no gas now, so it looks like he will just be doing some minor pressure to make his opponent pull some probes here, and then transition into an expansion. A lot of probes coming out for nYqBonk. This bunker is going to finish. If a Marine gets over there, he might be in a little bit of trouble. Obviously, this bunker is far from being in range of the Nexus, but being able to retreat to that while doing some pressure does make it very strong for taking out some probes. More SCVs pulled. Be curious to see if he puts down an expansion anytime soon. More bunkers as well. Wow.
This is very, very curious from Avillo. A couple more bunkers right now, and like you said, having that bunker in the back sort of allows Avillo, and actually, you know what, Bonk actually realized, he's like, okay, pulling probes, it's time. Going with one Zealot as well, though, and if he can get the surround on... No, he does not get the surround on the Marines as they retreat back to the bunker, and again, moving back and forth here, denying the production now of the 2 bunkers at the front here, and now, you know what, Bonk's going to go for it.
Straight for it. Probes completely surrounding the bunker. Probes do take a lot of damage, but the Zealot is going to take down this bunker. No more Zealots on the way, however, but there are also no SCVs. This is a bit of an awkward situation, but I definitely feel like Bonk is in a bad position here. Very clearly, I mean, he doesn't really have any units.
Yeah, that was so weird. I guess he just pulled so many probes and then didn't realize that he actually didn't have...
Yeah, you actually need to mine minerals in this game once in a while.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Bonk here. He might actually end up losing the Nexus if he's not too careful. The Stalker will get out. Yeah, it looks like in time here.
More SCVs incoming as well, though. So this bunker is going to be finished up, which will make it impossible for the Stalker to stop this Nexus from going down. No more units on the way for Bonk. Yeah,
Yeah.
Not even a GG, just a bit of a QQ face.
You know, like it seems like every time we stream Bonk on Playhem, he just does really, it just has the worst luck. Like, I think he played against some Zerg player, and he just got muted to death. And you know, it's just I feel for Bonk right now because he knows he could have been able to defend that. He knows he even saw the bunker, building right now. He just didn't react, just not quite fast enough, just to get it down. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough situation, definitely. It's one of those things where when you see it work out for the Terran, you're like, man, how does Protoss defend that? But when you see it successfully defended, you're like, I mean, how do I fight against the Nexus first? It's impossible to do any pressure. But that's, it's one of those things that just a small move can push it either way. Looks like we got another Avillo game. Ugh.
Great.
Well, one thing I've noticed, he really likes to do this. He did a double proxy Rax, with 1 Rax in his base and 2 Raxes proxied against Puck the last time I saw him, and then after that, didn't really, it was kind of even after that. He killed some probes and stopped Puck from expanding for a long time. It just went into like, nobody attacked for the next half hour.
Oh boy, Luca giving you heck. He's like, oh boy, man. Oh, whatever, Luca. Okay, he's just like he's fanboying so hard right now.
He likes to bother me. ampz. I don't know who this Zerg is, but he sounds familiar. I feel like I've played him in a Playhem before. I can look that up with my handy replay analyzer tool.
I thought you were going to say your handy dandy notebook, but I guess that works too.
Nope. I have never played him before. I'm a liar.
Dang it.
He is not in my replay database.
That's actually pretty cool.
I've got something like 5,600 replays saved of every game I've ever played since November 2010.
Wow. That is... Wow. I couldn't even imagine how many replays I would have if... obviously not of me playing, but me casting.
No, every game I've played or obs since November 2010.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
It's a lot of replays.
Separate hard drive for that stuff, man.
Looks like we got a TVZ coming up on Artifice, which is one of the newish
Yeah, I haven't.
NASL TPW maps. It's been used a bit in the NASL Team League and those qualifiers. So I have some experience with the map, but it still is a relatively new map for most of the players, especially the ones who are less experienced in the tournaments, as it's obviously not on the ladder, as you can see by the ladder pool. All right, so we got a TVZ here on this map. VT or LgNavilo versus ampz.
Ampz. Okay, well, man, I have actually never even seen. I didn't even know this. Okay, I didn't even. Okay, hold on. I gotta preface this actually. Back it up. I've been away from like computers to computers due to work. I was up north working, so I didn't even know we actually changed the map pool for Playhem. So I didn't even know. Actually, I didn't even know this map existed. Never mind changing the map pool. So. Shows you how
it was changed very recently.
Yeah.
This map was introduced like 2-3 days ago to the Playhem map pool.
Interesting. Like it looks similar to, well, it doesn't look similar to, but it has similar qualities to, Cloud Kingdom a little bit, where the natural is kind of choked off, but there's actually destructible rocks here to open it up even wider. The third's actually pretty close as well. Almost actually similar to Raine, but also the fourth is actually really close to the third as well. Wow, there's a lot of close bases, man.
There are a lot of close bases, but there are a decent amount of attack paths on the map. I mean, if you've got 4 bases, you are exposing yourself to basically 3 different attack paths. And they aren't huge chokes, but they are... I mean, if you got tanks, they're small chokes. But if you're another race, then you're not quite as fortunate. Alright, so we see a villa opening up with a standard barracks, no gas. Looks like he will be 2-raxing, putting down both racks at this ramp. The positions are actually fairly close, seeing as it is close positions. Not like super close. I mean, this is not Metalopolis, but it's definitely a whole lot better than Cross. I mean, if you look at the Cross positions on this map, there are a bunch of doodads and ramps and walls that you gotta climb over to get across the map. It actually seems like it would play out completely differently depending on what the positions are on this map. Zerg has gone for a standard 15 hatch and has put down his pool right away as well. So this will definitely aid him in defending the 2 racks, and I do not foresee him having any trouble holding this off, personally. Unless he is just bad, but... He shouldn't have trouble holding this off, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, with that early pool here, not going for a super quick gas. Yeah, wow, like the dynamic of this map absolutely changes with positions. I mean, obviously, on certain maps that is also the case, but especially on this map where the rush distance gets, let's say, neutered for the time being. Actually, 3 SCVs here coming for a Villo. But ampz is ready right now. He's got 4 drones. He's probably going to pull off a couple more here. He's chasing back that one Marine. Good job so far. And right now, it's not looking too scary for ampz. Yeah, there we go. A couple more drones coming here from ampz. Looks like the bunker will not maybe finish. He's got to be really weary, though, with these couple more SCVs. Actually, the first bunker will finish, and you know what? It's not a very pretty position, but he does have a spine crawler building right now. 2 more bunkers are on the way for a Villo.
A lot of links on the way as well as a spine crawler. So if he can hold the spine crawler, he'll be in good position. The key is going to be definitely holding the spine crawler and pushing back these Marines. Although these bunkers will actually finish a little bit before, no, around the same time as the spine crawler. So it seems like ampz here is in a little bit of trouble. He just managed to pick off 1 of the SCVs. But he's definitely in some trouble here. A Villo doing a lot of damage with his 2 racks. In fact, the spine is going to be forced to retreat back behind the hatchery. Links continue to come out, but they're getting shot down almost as fast as they come out, and a Villo is going to take this game with a quick 2 racks victory. Wow, 2 racks, man, is like everywhere in this thing.
I just love the fact that we were expecting super long games from a Villo, and Villo's like, sup, son?
Yeah, he bunker rushes 2 games in a row.
All right, well, let's go to a quick commercial break here after those couple quick 2 raxes here. We'll see you guys on the flip side. What's your Twitter, dude?
Pokebunny.
How's it
Pretty
spelled?
much everything.
Poke.
And like normal, like how Pokebunny should be spelled.
Not with an
If
I.
it wasn't, yeah, not with an I. It's just shortened because of Blizzard's
Blizzards.
limit
Oh, lame.
of letters in a name. It's pretty silly.
That is pretty silly. I'm not even following you. That is a goddamn shame. I am now.
Nice. I have gained 1 follower.
Woohoo!
My follower count is now at 2,629.
Nice. Dang, son, you got some followers. All right, I'm gonna plug your
Yeah,
Twitter.
I think it's because I started
Streaming. Oh yeah.
tweeting and streaming kind of before a lot of people. I've actually got more followers than some people who I would definitely say are more well known than me. But I started streaming and twittering fairly early, so you kind of have that chance to build up followers over the course of time. I hit 1,000 like last summer, so I was kind of ahead of the game.
That's how I felt actually casting on Justin TV before it became Twitch TV.
Yeah.
I was on Justin TV before ever the whole big flood of esports people, especially StarCraft 2, came over. I was just on there doing my thing and was like, man, this is actually pretty good streaming site, whatever. And then like they landed day. I figure like the turning point for Justin TV was like landing day 9 to come on to join with them. Getting in control and getting a whole bunch of big names. And once they got a couple big names to come over, everyone just switched over because everyone's like, oh, hey, whatever. What is that? You live stream, you whatever, like Justin TV is actually pretty sweet. But now you have competitors like Owned, or yeah, I guess they're just called, or Own 3D, who've come up in the game. And what competition is always a good thing, though. I'm not quite sure what Own 3D's whatever system thingamajig is like with revenue and whatever, but
Yeah. I definitely do have a little bit of background on it. Twitch really became popular because they were the first ones to start actively offering people
Yes.
money for streaming. I mean, they were the first ones. I actually got the partner program as a part of VT Gaming through their management as early as like the end of 2010, basically, like
Nice.
December 2010 or so. And that's when I really started streaming heavily, and then I was featured soon after that on Team Liquid. So Twitch really was the first one to begin reaching out to people and offering that partner program. Owned has lately gained ground because I believe they offer simply higher ad rates. I think they offer a flat rate for advertising rather than Twitch, which basically gives you 50% of whatever is made from your channel.
Okay.
Like whatever advertising they do through your channel, they get
Yeah.
half of it and you get half of it. But Owned has been offering like a flat rate of, I'm not exactly sure what the rate is, but I think it's slightly better than what Twitch offers. So especially a lot of Koreans who, I mean, let's admit it, primarily stream for money.
Yeah.
Have been going to.
I mean, the main reason why I don't really like Own 3D, or I guess we call it Owned, pardon me. I guess I just don't like the way it looks. Maybe I don't.
I
It's
agree.
just a little off-putting with Twitch.tv. Everything's like kind of nicely centered. It's you could customize your back. Well, obviously on 3D you can customize your background, but Own 3D kind of reminds me actually of a little bit of Ustream as well, and their chat's kind of a little bit weird. It's not as colorful and playful. I love playful things.
Well, they actually make you use like a separate IRC client
Yeah,
for chat, which is
yeah.
a big pain for a lot of people. I'm personally on Twitch. I've been on Twitch forever. I don't plan to leave Twitch unless there's some sort of like sponsorship thing where I have to. But
I'm assuming it's twitch.tv/Pokebunny. Yeah, like
Yep.
normally.
everything that exists of me is Pokebunny. Oh no, Avilo TVP on Metropolis.
Uh-oh. Oh boy. Well, I'll be back and... Well, I guess I can't be back. I'm the observer. Damn it. Why? Look
You
up.
can set it to follow me.
Yeah, that's
Set it to follow my camera.
Oh, you see, you just doomed yourself. If you guys are wondering, I don't think we're going to be having fan games after, but we will, in fact, I believe, have the After Hours show hosted by Cat2 because, of course, StarCraft Alaska is going to be... he's doing something with school right now, so I believe Cat2 is going to be hosting Playhem After Hours. Like, what is the name? 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 And boosting volume. I don't know why I sing when I do this. It just seems more entertaining. Like, oh, say something while you're fixing stream stuff. That's okay.
Looks like we are in the round of 32. The thing says 64 in the chat, but this is actually a round of 32.
The round of 32. I actually wanted to do the voice. You know how GSL has that introduction with you know like Fanatic Raine. I wanted to do a voice for MLG where I was like, I am Nesty. They didn't.
You don't have a bad voice for it, so it wouldn't be too bad.
They didn't contact me back though. Whatever. Not a big deal. All right, both players are ready.
Looks like we are going to be getting started with this TVP on GSL's Metropolis of LgNavilo versus Fierytycoon. I am very familiar with both of these players, so I should be able to give some idea of how this game is going. This is a huge map, which is sad and happy at the same time. I predict Fierytycoon is going to open with a Gateway Forge expand.
Really?
You call me crazy, but he literally has done this every ladder game I've ever played him. And that's like 6 times. So every game, I just blind open Reaper Rush or Cloak Banshee.
Yeah.
And I've won every time.
Oh, wow.
But he still goes for it every single game. Be interesting to see if he's changed up his style a bit. But he's been going Gateway, Forge. I'm not sure if it's Gateway then Forge or Forge then Gateway. But it's a gasless expand with a Forge and a Gateway and a cannon. So it's a little funky. But we'll see how it works out for him. He's putting down his first pylon at his main ramp. I think he does normally do that. I think he gets the gate before expanding, as well as the forge, and then adds the gas and core after expanding. It's a little weird. But,
Really? A little weird.
Yeah, actually it's very weird. I've never seen anything like it, and I probably never will. In all honesty, like, the last time I played him, just kidding. Avila's double proxy raxing, so... Everything I just said doesn't really matter anymore. Because this game is now going to be, can this guy hold the proxy raxes? I didn't realize that Villa Cheese is so hard in Playhem every time.
You know what? I didn't either, actually. I figured it may be due to the fact that perhaps you're here, and he's like, well, whatever. I can show you that I can just play short games as well.
Oh, yeah.
And we're like, oh.
I don't think that's it. I mean,
he
did this last time. Kind of a similar thing. And these barracks are like... Last time he was actually scouted, he proxied at his opponent's third base, and he got scouted when the Raxes were halfway done, and still won that game in 40 minutes. That's basically what he does.
Boy.
He'll either kill you in the first 5 minutes, or take an hour to kill you. Like, there's no in-between. He doesn't play a mid-game. I think it's really, to be honest, because his multitasking is pretty terrible. Like, he doesn't macro very well. Alright, he's doing this gate. He's got an X first. And we should be seeing a Forge anytime now. So he's going Nexus first versus double proxy racks. I mean, there shouldn't really... 2 gateways, maybe? No, Forge, as I said.
Wow, good call, man.
It is a gate Forge expand, but there really shouldn't be much to be said other than the fact that it's Nexus first versus 2 proxy racks that are about 5 seconds from his natural. So, I mean, I think we can just, like... The commentary for this game doesn't really need to go any longer, but I'll keep talking because that's what I'm supposed to do.
That's the things between like players and casters. Well, they'll be like,
also,
well, I'm gonna try and make it a little bit. Well, what is it, Pokebunny?
I mean, this build, as weird and awkward as it is, actually does have the advantage that you cannot bunker push it at all, which is kind of what Avilo has been liking to do. If he can manage to somehow pull like 10 probes, which he's not doing, and hold this cannon, he'll be in a really good position. Because if his cannon finishes, he will actually probably live. Oh god! The cannon is gonna die. I think that's GG.
That was actually a lot closer than I thought it would be.
As I said, if he pulled like 10 more probes, I mean, I'm not really sure why he was so reluctant to pull as many probes as he could. I mean, it's double proxy racks outside his natural. Not a whole lot else going on here. Yeah, if he did this like a little bit ago, might have been a little better off. But Fierytycoon does seem like he will be heading out of Playhem early to this all-in from Avilo. Raine's microing back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, that's going to be it. I was going to say something. I was like, yeah, we're going to see GG soon, but you know what? Fierytycoon goes out in a blaze. Oh, Badoichi. Oh, Badoichi. I think that's Ukrainian, actually, Badoichi. It's like, oh, my goodness. I think at those points, you just start talking about the new Season 6 ladder map pool, right? Because, of course, it just came out.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about that a bit,
yeah, why
because
not?
it's awesome. I am so pumped. I played some games in Cloud Kingdom and Coral. Cloud Kingdom was like one of my favorite maps before it was even added to ladder. I'm so psyched to be playing this on ladder every day. This is the first season ever I have not vetoed a single map in the entire ladder pool.
Wow.
I could veto metal. I mean, that's a fair veto, as well as Shattered, or as well as for a Terran. I think Tal'Darim is also a fair veto. But
Whoa.
I'm not vetoing anything just because I feel like they are all good maps to practice on, and while I might not be good at all of them, they are all maps worth playing, and so that makes me very, very happy. Core Hall, I have only played about 3 or 4 games on thus far, but it does seem like a nice map, and I always love 2-player maps. It's one thing that I've had an issue with the Blizzard pool for a long time. Before Arid Waste was added, Xel'Naga was literally the only 2-player map in the entire pool for months. And I really hated that because I hate how I feel like scouting becomes a bit luck-based on maps like Tal'Darim, where it's basically, if you scout first, you can scout in 2 minutes, and if you scout last, you can scout in like 4 minutes when you can't really see much anymore. And it actually can dictate the flow of games a lot in certain matchups. So I really like that they're adding these 2-player maps that are decent sized. All the Blizzard 2-player maps we've seen before have been small, but now we're seeing real 2-player maps that are very excellent, and I'm very pleased to see these maps.
Okay, looks like we're actually going to be joining. Well, I don't think actually Perfect's a part of Raine anymore.
Nope,
no,
he's not. He claimed to quit StarCraft.
Oh, really?
But then played 600 ladder games last season. Which I think speaks for itself a little bit. He hates this game, but continues playing because he has nothing better to do. That sounds a little mean. I didn't mean it in such a mean way. I think he is going, I think he's going back to school soon, maybe, I think. I'm not actually sure about that. He was not going to school for a little while. He's 19, I think. I used to be a teammate of his, so I'm not like a stalker. I don't just randomly know tons of facts about Perfect. Number 1 man or toss.
Ooh.
Yeah, he says that, but he's actually like, I literally haven't seen a game on ladder that he played where he didn't either rage quit or give his opponent some choice words before leaving. He even BM'd me on my Smurf a couple times when he didn't know it was me. So
wow, what a guy.
Yeah. All right, Raine is a Grandmaster Zerg who I've actually never played. He apparently has like 2 accounts in Grandmaster, but I've never played him in my life. But he's got to be half decent. And here we go with a ZVP on Metropolis. I actually feel like this is an amazing map for Protoss in this matchup. Just looking at the map, I have not watched a single PvZ on this map, nor do I really watch much GSL. But if I had to say, I would say if I was a Protoss, I would love this map.
All I've seen actually on this map from GSL, I actually have been behind in the earlier rounds. I just kind of caught up recently. Mostly just Protoss versus Terran, where Protoss kind of takes a very fast third in sort of response to a Terran's very fast command center, and then they go up to like really high warp gate counts. But before I get into that, we're going to do some introductions here formerly from the team Raine and formerly from the team VT. We have Perfect as our green Protoss player, and on the left-hand side here, we have our red Zerg player. It's raining. It's pouring. He is Raine. that didn't work out so well. I was hoping to go with someone else. I was like, so,
Need a little bit better pun than that.
you know what, man?
Gotta step it up.
I try so hard, just fail badly. I knew as I was saying, I was like, this is really not gonna work.
It's all right. Okay, well, we might see a game that lasts longer than 5 minutes this time around. As Raine has not yet put down a spawning pool, and there are no proxy gateways anywhere on the map. Looks like it's going to be a standard Forge expand coming out here from Perfect. Notably, he actually... Oh, I was about to say something completely wrong. He's going to scout his opponent very quickly, even though he didn't scout first. The two positions that your opponent can be in are very close together, so it's very easy to scout both around the same time. He's going to quickly see this pool timing, which is around a 13 pool, I believe. Nothing out of the ordinary. He will be putting up that forage, obviously, before expanding with such a timing. No gas out for Raine yet, so he should be expanding rather shortly.
I mean, you said it right there. He's got the forge up already for Perfect. Perfect looks like he's going to go Nexus immediately here, especially with cross positions. We'll see if Raine actually chooses to... Man, this is going to confuse me now because Raine Perfect. Yeah. We'll see if Raine chooses to go for a fast third in response to this forge, and then right into directly Nexus here, as we can see Perfect. Starting that Nexus as well as a secondary pylon. But right now, he's going to be content to expanding to his natural expansion. Perfect's going to deny this as long as he can. The probe was trying to patrol back, and looks like he's going to
down.
Lose it. Yeah.
And the expansion as well will be thrown down. Protoss expansion is actually slightly ahead of the Zerg, but I don't think Zerg is too worried about that, and he'll be able to pump pure drones. Although I don't know, yeah, he hasn't actually scouted Perfect at all yet. And while I'm sure he will not be surprised to see his Forge expand here, but it is still, kind of important that he hasn't actually seen anything yet from his Protoss opponent. Double gas going down for Perfect, as well as the gateway and the cannon. Cannon's actually not done yet. He could have kind of run those links in the main, but he's just gonna not do that.
Actually, this might actually be a perfect wall here from Perfect. That's no. Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I'm blind. You're right. You are right. That is a wall. That is a solid wall, and there will be no run-bys here. Perfect throwing down a cybernetics core here at the top to kind of lessen that choke that will appear when the destructible debris are punched out. Third base going up for Raine. This is a fairly standard... I mean, it's greedy, but it's become pretty commonplace in the current ZVP metagame to get this really early third against a fast-expanding Protoss before taking any gas. We will see a lot of drones come out here. And now we're basically just waiting on Perfect to make some kind of tech or building choice. Will he go for a bunch of gateways, a robo, Stargate perhaps? It's up to him here. He does have a lot of gas banked and is taking a very quick third gas, so I'd expect a Stargate here, and that is exactly what he's doing.
It's gonna be perfect.
Double Stargate.
Oh,
that was a very early gas, and I didn't notice he was banking a lot of gas as well as not starting this warp gate upgrade. Zealot moving on the map to do a little bit of scouting. 2 queens out thus far for Raine. He has now also put down double gas, so that will help him out with defending the Stargate play, as he may be able to get a lair in decent time and get some Hydras. Although queens are very effective against the Stargate play. One thing I'd really like to see Raine do is begin working on the destructible debris blocking off his third. He's really going to need that close pathway if he wants to hold off that third for Void Rays and Phoenixes. He's going to need that creep spread. He's going to need that pathway open to defend this effectively. 1 Void Ray, 2 Void Rays being chronoed out right away here from Perfect. A very fast layer coming out here from Raine. It smells like Mutaplay to me, which is going to be a little bit of trouble against the double Stargate. He does see 1 Stargate, as well as 4 gases, that could possibly tip him off about the double Stargate. I mean, it's obviously not like a surefire thing if you see a lot of gas, that it's going to be a double Stargate. But, if I were him, I would definitely be a little bit concerned about what's going on. Oh, and he's actually going to see the second Stargate, so he knows exactly what's going on, and he is putting down multiple Spore Crawlers, 4 in fact, 2 at each base, but he has still not connected these bases with creep. In fact, not even close. So I would not be surprised to see this third take heavy pressure from these Void Rays and perhaps even go down. Hydra Den should hopefully be on the way very quickly from Raine. Not quite sure if that's... Yep, there we go. As multiple Void Rays zoom across the map. Phoenix is also in production.
Yeah, this third base is going to take a lot of damage here. With only one Spore Crawler right now, a Queen will be able to go one-on-one here with the Void Ray as the Spore Crawler does reposition itself here. But with a second Void Ray coming up, that one Void Ray charging up, moving back now, and Spore Crawler is in position, deters the final Void Ray. Now moving to look over to kill off the transferring drones here right now. So Perfect is getting a little bit of damage here done with these early Void Rays. And it looks like he's going to be charging up on the destructible debris. And actually, the point that you made about actually taking down the destructible debris here at the natural expansion may actually hurt Raine, just for the fact that the Voiders will now have something more to charge up on before they go in for attacks here.
Oh, he actually loses the charge,
Oh,
but the
no.
Spore was being repositioned as he moved in, so Raine's third is in a lot of trouble, and I would say it's almost certainly going to fall. Queen is lifted up, multiple Void Rays going to work on that Queen, as well as the Overlords and Hatchery nearby. Hydras are now out for Raine, though, so he may be able to hold off this double Stargate play. I feel, though, even if he does take out some of these units, losing this third is going to set him a bit behind. Although he is delaying a bit and doing anything. I don't know if I think this is smart, actually. There are a lot of Phoenixes here to lift up these Hydras. Void Ray's taking heavy damage, but all the Hydras are going down. One Void Ray down, one Phoenix down as well. More Hydras being rallied over from Raine, but there are no lifts left.
Yeah, without those lifts, it's going to make those Void Rays very susceptible to those Hydras. We do have +1 just about to finish here, so other than that initial damage here by taking out that third hatchery, which is very successful for Perfect, with the lack of energy on the Phoenixes for now, Raine's going to be decently safe, but as that energy recharges on those Phoenix, we may see a swoop in here. But actually, Perfect has now transitioned into 4 gateways and a robotics bay as well. So looking to go into a more standard play, get that Protoss Death Ball rocking and rolling. Very fast Colossus, obviously in response to those super fast Hydras, just to complement his air army and really clean house, hopefully, against the Hydralisk army. And he may actually go for a relatively, let's say, early push here, although he is taking down his destructible debris that leads towards his third base from that natural expansion. So that may lead me to believe that he's just going to transition pretty standardly from the time being, take it easy. He's ahead right now. Although it is 81 to 86 supply, the worker count is in favor, actually, of the Zerg player, 55 to 46. But with that third base down right now, really, I don't think the mining efficiency is going to be too heavily in favor. No, not quite. Yeah.
Yeah, the income should basically be the same, considering this third base is only halfway done for Raine. Little interesting from Perfect. I think he just missed macroed and therefore had to throw down all these gateways. I don't think he really wants to go up to 9 gateways before taking a third off of a double Stargate. That's a bit of a weird play. Though he is probably going to be doing some pressure. I mean, he's got Colossus and 9 gateways before taking his third. Although he is poised to take his third here. I mean, it's not too much of a big deal that he's got these extra gateways, but it is a lot of gateways. Got the Void Rays and Phoenixes flying around. Raine is going for 4th. He's got a Spire up as well. I don't think we'll be seeing Mutas. Probably just Corruptors and in preparation for these Colossi that I'm sure he expects to be coming. As I said, I mean, this map does feel to be very strong for Protoss in a game like this, just because if you look around at all these bases that Protoss can really just take and seal off with cannons very easily. Seems like that would favor the Protoss a bit, as if a Protoss, a Protoss on 5 bases is ridiculously scary for Zerg. Those tech units completely destroy anything Zerg. Roach Hydra pushing across the map, excuse me. But there is one Colossus out, a second one almost done, as well as range. Perfect is well aware of this advance by Raine, and will be completely prepared. So it looks like we'll be going into a fairly standard macro game, and I would give the slight edge to Perfect in such a situation right now.
Yeah, I see he's got the slightly superior army composition with, 3 Colossus. The one thing that's going to be scary, though, I believe, is going to be the lack of force fields for Perfect. He
Yeah.
doesn't. You know, it's not gonna be completely crucial. He only has 1 sentry right now, and actually, this position for Raine is not too bad. He's gonna move forward here. Decent force fields there from Perfect, and he's allowing the Colossus to do a lot of splash damage though. Lifts coming from the Phoenix here, taking out a bunch of Hydras. Colossus are still alive. And it looks like Raine is going to continue moving on forward here, although he is going to get cleaned up with relative ease here. And he's saying he, and he's going to leave the game from that after taking a relatively greedy 4th base and not being able to deny that 3rd base there of Perfect. I feel that he just kind of threw the game away there right now. I mean, he still had a chance. He was definitely in the game still.
Yeah, I mean, an average viewer might look at that and say, why would he attack? You know, he's taking a 4th base, the supplies and workers are fairly even. But, I mean, if you look at the units that they both had, Perfect's got 3 Void Rays, 5 Phoenixes. That completely denies those Corruptors that he's going to need to counter those Colossi.
Yep.
If you've got such a buildup of air units before you go into that Colossus play, it's going to be crazy good against that Zerg Roach Hydra Corruptor business that we were seeing out of Raine. And so, you know, he was definitely going to have trouble defending any kind of push from Perfect. I mean, if he builds up to 5 Colossus, you know, with those Void Rays and Phoenixes out and a large Gateway army, there's not really a whole lot that can be done from Raine's side to defend such a push, no matter how his economy is. He really was definitely significantly behind, and that attack did feel very desperate, as is kind of appropriate in such a situation.
All right, so after that game, we're going to run into a quick commercial break. Stay tuned for more Playhem Daily action. I'm Psylence, and with me is Pokebunny. Let's get that commercial rolling.
I talk for so long. I don't know why. I just can't stop talking.
It's all right, dude. It's all right. I'll let you talk. I will not. You dropping knowledge bombs, just like I'm like, all right. Let the bro talk. He's got this, man. It's less work for me, to be honest. I'm just like, all right, whatever. I'll be the dedicated observer.
It's fun stuff, though. Let's see what. I'm just gonna check out the bracket and see who we've got going into the later rounds of the Playhem Daily. We will be soon moving into best of 3 play. Not quite yet, but you know, within the next couple rounds. We're up to the round of 16 and 32 overall, mostly. In the round of, oh wow, actually one guy has already advanced to the round of 8.
That was
fast.
Yeah.
Cleared 5 or 6 best of 1s in little over an hour.
What do you say about that? Jeez.
Oh, not sure what happened here, but TSL Revival was taken out by a Master Zerg. It is a best of 1. I'm not sure if that was maybe a forfeit or not.
I don't know. What do I don't shit talk? I don't. I think Avilo's he's just a little self-conscious. That's all. You know. I mean, we poke fun about Avilo, you know, the way that he plays. But obviously, we can call it very stylistic. If you know, where he tends to turtle very hard. The Turtle Terran player, or he'll go into a very aggressive early game. So we'll see what he chooses to do here. Daybreak. This is actually another map I would love to see on the map pool incorporated by Blizzard. It's just I just like the way that the way that it looks and the way that it's formed. Although the 3rd base is again, I'd consider the 3rd base of Daybreak, where you normally take it, somewhat similar to Tal'Darim Altar, where if you go in Colossus for Protoss, the Vikings or the air units for Terran make it very hard for the Colossus to move in and maneuver and defend that 3rd base. So I like Daybreak. It's a snazzy map. It's probably one of my favorite maps to watch games on, actually. gonna actually talk to Luca. You know what? If Avilo's having a problem, then we'll move actually to a next map, to a new match, and we won't cast Avilo. If he's having problems, whatever. But if he does end up getting further into the bracket, he will have to put up with that.
Yeah, I'm not even.
You know.
I mean, all I'm saying is I'm commenting on his style. I don't really feel like I'm doing it in a insulting way.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. I mean, some players can be a little bit needy. Not needy, but like where they're like, I want only green M&Ms. You know, something like that. That's what I consider Avila to be. But I mean, he has a right to not get casted until the later rounds, obviously. So hopefully Luca will be looking for the new game while we're waiting here. If you guys don't know, I'm Psylence. Joining me is Pokebunny for this NA Daily. I was going to solo cast and throw it on my back, but you know, we figured we'd bring in a veteran with his grizzled beard and upstart too. How old are you, dude? You like 16, right?
I am 16.
Nice.
the long grizzled beard of the 16-year-old Terran player.
I groom it every day. I mean,
Yes.
it holds.
I am
many
very weary.
Ah.
My experience in the StarCraft world is unmatched.
I like how you turn like sort of British. You're like, my experience in the StarCraft world is unmatched and uncanny.
That's pretty good, actually.
Thank you. I've practiced it every day, actually. No, that's a lie. All right. You need to start respecting people. I feel like Avilo's kind of trolling us a little bit, too. Not going to lie. Like, we're just waiting here. Okay. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Looks like we're ready. Avilo's going to do.
Your dad, I'll watch the driver now if you want.
Just an FYI. Okay. Hopefully, Avilo will get it. All right. Avilo's over with. Fine with him. Go. Finally, we will get this game started on GSL Daybreak. This is the round of 16, I believe it is. If you guys also make sure to vote in the poll here. I believe the Playhem bot, yes, does have the vote link for you guys. If you guys don't know, though, you can also go to gosu.ws /poll, and you can also access the poll there. And that's what the percentages above the scoreboard are. Okay, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, the stylistic Terran player. We have Legions of Avilo and his opponent in the top right-hand corner. This, of course, is going to be a TVP. The Protoss player is going to be Gowa. Or Gala. You know, I'm just going to go with Gowa because it's easier to pronounce, and I do not want to go into the logistics of pronunciation right now.
Okay, so we are on GSL Daybreak, which is a fairly large macro map. You know, as we did mention before, Avilo does have a couple of unique playstyles that we should expect to see pan out on this map. Very early scout from the Protoss, going straight for a pylon scout while Avilo is walling off his front with his first supply depot. Not quite sure what sort of hit build he'll go for yet, but it should be an interesting game. I'll be curious to see what he does go for.
Such an early scout, actually, especially on a two-player map like this.
Yeah.
Really makes me feel like he thinks Avilo may cheese. But after he's seen this first barracks, it's really not going to be... He's going to be thinking, okay, he's playing... You know, he's obviously not proxying two barracks right away, so he's going to play a little more standard this game. We'll have to see, though, from Avilo. He's been pretty tricky recently. Well, I'm not going to say tricky. He's been gimmicky, let's say, where he goes for a very fast 2-racks, proxies it. So I guess finally we're going to see a little bit different style of a game here from Avilo. Meanwhile, we're seeing, again, still pretty standard. It looks like it's going to be a gasless expansion here from Avilo, with him not choosing to get gas yet. Obviously, that's what it means by getting a gasless expansion. Oh my god, just blew like 5 people's minds.
No way, never would have guessed. Gas and gateway, as well as the second pylon, all down for the Protoss. Completely standard stuff here. Villa placing his second supply to finish his wall off. I mean, he still could vary up his build a bit, maybe put down a couple more racks behind that wall, but I would definitely expect the CC to go up sometime soon. Considering he did wall off the main, I would expect an in-base command center, but I mean, definitely not for sure. It could be anything. This probe is moving out from behind the natural. It's actually going towards the marine. It was hiding from the marine, and he had a good hiding spot until he found the marine. Core going up for the Protoss command center is now going down for Avilo at the natural, so he won't be creating an in-base command center. Warp Gate Research and a Stalker both on the way. Everything looking very normal for a Daybreak game. Both players seem to be going for fast expansion. Protoss player has saved up no chrono boost and is still on 1 gas, so we should see a Nexus from him any second.
Yeah, he's being. Oh, actually, he's going Pylon. Okay, then Nexus. He was.
Yeah, there will be a Nexus here soon.
Just a little bit supply block there. But Avilo is smartly making a bunker. Obviously, with a gasless expansion, very susceptible to, let's say, a 4-gate. If you don't make enough bunkers, obviously. If you don't make any bunkers, you're just, well, like, what are you doing, man? You're just playing so greedy. And, I mean, bunkers really don't cost much at all. But moving up to 3 racks right now. So it looks like very, very standard here from Avilo so far. Not going for, let's say, a 5 racks. Super pressure with a bunch of Marines. Just staying middle of the line. Mediocre. Not mediocre. I'm looking for him. He's got the median. And meanwhile, Gowa actually mirroring this with his own 3 gates. So right now, both players just playing very standard. Sitting back right now. Getting their production on. Getting their econ on. And just chilling. They've got their drinks out. They're on the beach. They've got their feet kicked up in the sandals, you know. The sun's out. It's super nice. They've got their bathing suit on. And right now they've just rubbed their tanning oil on their body, and they're just sitting down, and they're just getting ready to tan and get that nice brown, even tan on.
We got 2 more racks going down from Avilo, as well as a second bunker. So he's playing rather defensive and seems to be going into a standard mid-game composition. I'll be interested to see what sort of style he employs in the mid-game. You know, he's got a lot of options. Terrans have lately been mixing it up a lot after the 1-rack expand. You know, we've seen some really early thirds. We've seen some very fast drop play, some very fast upgrades, and it's really up to him. You have a lot of flexibility as far as where to go after this very standard opening. Protoss also pretty much in the same position. I mean, he's got the very standard 1-gate expand into 3 gates with the Robo. Everything looking completely normal for both these 2 players.
Factory going up now for Avilo. We'll probably see him make a reactor and switch it up with a future starport that may be coming on. I like this. I actually like this SCV patrolling around here on the top position of the map. He's moving around, checking all the for hidden proxies of any, let's say, Stargates or even tech, because sometimes you do see that. Not so often, but sometimes players will actually proxy tech building, let's say a dark shrine very early, or even a robotics. I've seen a robotics actually proxied as well, but not so often though. And actually a third bunker going up for Avilo, so very, very defensive for the time being. He's not investing too much with these bunkers. He's just keeping he's very defensive posture here. We may actually see. I'd actually like to see maybe a fast third, like an in-house command center, get his SCV count up right with such a high bunker count.
Yeah, he is going. Well, I mean, one thing to note about that is creating these bunkers actually does take away from your minerals, which in turn would delay from such a third base.
Wow.
But that is possible for sure. We've got add-ons going down on both these additional barracks. A very standard 2 tech labs and reactor. Terran also teching towards medevacs. Protoss has gone up to 5 gateways and robotics fairly quickly, as well as a forge. He's got a lot of tech and gates for 2 base, so I do expect him to be aggressive, probably around the 12-13 minute mark with a couple Colossi in range. But for the time being, he'll probably just be playing defensive as Avilo's medevacs come out and he does some pressure. I feel like Avilo is trying to prove something to me by playing like totally standard this game. I don't know.
He actually spots the observer. And he's going to stim for it, and he's going to get it. Not a problem. And I feel like Avilo actually is going to slowly push all these bunkers. He's got 4 bunkers right now. He's just going to keep leapfrogging bunkers all the way to Gowa's base, just to be a troll. But with 4 bunkers like this, he's playing I mean, extremely, extremely safe. Like, he's like in his panic room right now, and it's locked up with concrete. And actually, he's supply blocked right now, making 3 supply depots, obviously, to circumvent that. Meanwhile, Gowa, I like the 3 stalkers actually be warped in his main, just preventing any kind of drop play from being effective. And still no thirds from actually either of these players. I would assume Gowa would take actually his third a little bit faster, just by judging how many bunkers Avilo has at the front. So if I would have seen that, I would have probably, you know what, okay, I'm going to take a third right now. But actually, Avilo's going to be moving out with these 2 medevacs.
Yeah, a couple of interesting things to note by both players. Avilo is getting +1 vehicle weapons. Is the first and most interesting. This suggests some sort of transition to more mech-oriented play later on in the game. I'm not sure what I think of this. I mean, we'll see how it pans out, obviously. It's a interesting idea, and I'm sure he knows how to make great use of it. He's also now getting siege mode and beginning to produce tanks. This is very interesting play.
You know what?
Going into mech later on.
Yeah, he's going to be transitioning. I guess he's going out to clear the watchtowers for himself for the time being. Yeah, he's making 2 more factories right now, so it's got to be Mac.
Wow.
He may incorporate Thors into this, but obviously he's getting siege mode, so he's going to be...
Getting siege, yeah, there'll be some tanks at least.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Most definitely tanks. And yeah, he's moving into a lot of factories, so we'll see where his mineral dump may go into, if he chooses to go into, let's say, Marines, or...
Yeah.
I mean, he's already invested in Stim, right? Yeah, he's invested in Stim, he's got medevacs.
As well as combat shields.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the important tech for the bio, so he will be able to continue producing that along with the tanks. I'm not sure what composition he will choose to go for. There are 3 Colossi out for the Protoss. He's stopped making Colossi so far. He's got 2 Forges running double upgrades now, as well as a Twilight Council. So he's all set up for his mid-game. Very standard stuff from both sides. Avilo moving over to pressure the third. I don't think he'll be able to do too much damage. His forces heavily outnumbered and running on by. Just forcing a cancel on that third. He will be lifting it all up. 1 medevac with some units does fall, as well as a second empty medevac. Protoss banking up a little bit of minerals during this defense. Immortal actually coming out, so he will be switching away from those Colossi. I'm not sure if he has yet. No, he has not yet seen any hint of the mech transition that is currently in progress from Avilo. He's making tanks 2 at a time, as well as Vikings. His bio is basically just being sacrificed to slow down the Protoss economy. He's also getting a Ghost Academy and Hellions, so he's going to be going into full-on mech play as he takes his third here in a few minutes. All the barracks are being lifted.
That's very curious, because like we said earlier, he did commit to to the Marine upgrades with combat shield Stim, but I guess he's trying to throw Gowa off. He's like, yeah, I'm going bio. Okay, tech switch time, but actually Gowa's hitting.
Yeah, this is a good timing here. I mean, Avilo does have 6 Vikings as well as tanks behind this little wall here. Gowa is probably now like WTFing a little bit as he runs into 5 tanks after taking some bio harass. All the SCVs are pulled from the natural to defend, so Avilo, he definitely does like to play very safe with his style and make sure he's safe from all attacks. A Stargate going up from Gowa, I really like this play. Phoenixes or even Void Rays can be very effective against mech play if your opponent skimps on Vikings or Thors or anything. The Phoenixes actually can combat Vikings very well. You might not know this if you haven't seen it all that many times, but Phoenixes do very well against Vikings for their cost. In fact, one Phoenix will completely dominate a Viking, and they cost about the same amount of money.
I was going to say, just at this point here, with Avilo continually making Vikings, he will be okay against Phoenixes, but if the Phoenix count gets to a point where it's looking pretty even, then Avilo's going to be in a little bit of trouble, because there's no other anti-air other than these Vikings right now, currently, I believe, for Avilo.
Yeah, the tanks will do fairly well against the Colossi, but the thing is, if that Phoenix count gets up, and you lose all your Vikings, and you can't reproduce everything, it's just really tough to get back even in the game. Stalker's moving in and taking a bit of siege damage. I'm surprised he didn't go sort of from the upper angle towards that expansion. He definitely would have been able to do a little bit harass. Both players are relatively even supplies. The Protoss is teching charge. He's got 5 Colossi out, and he's producing Immortals now. I'd like to see a second Robo from the Protoss. Robo units are really effective against mech play, both Immortals and Colossi. You know, you might think, oh, the Colossi aren't too effective. You know, I mean, they're tanks. Tanks are like Mega Colossi, except they have to sit down to attack. But at the same time, you know, the Colossi are really good at cleaning up any fodder for the tanks, allowing the charge lots to move in easily. They're also, I mean, they're just simply excellent damage dealers all around. I mean, to be completely honest with you, the Colossus basically counters every unit that is on the ground. There's no real cost-efficient unit against Colossi as far as ground units go with equal resources. So I do like this play, but as I said, I would like to see a second Robo maybe for some extra Immortals. And he is following my advice, now adding 2 more Robos and going up to a total of 4. A lot of Hellions moving around the map. Not sure what I think of this play. I mean, he is putting them a little bit at risk. They are running straight into Colossi. Takes 1 Hellion does manage to sneak by over to the 4th, but there are no probes there yet, so no significant damage will be done. Sensor tower is up for Avillo. He does look to be going for the long haul as he has multiple CCs building over at his 3rd.
I had seen actually, I'd seen that 1 Hellion he's running by. He's like, oh god, just hit the nitros. So with this, what I like from Avillo, what I like seeing the Ghost incorporated in this, because obviously his opponent's going to be going heavy Immortal with this.
Yeah, he's actually making 3 at a time right now, yeah.
Exactly. So
definitely knows what's up.
Having these Ghosts here, they're mainly going to be used for EMPs against Immortals. That is my thought, at least, against it. Deny their shields right away so that the tanks can do a lot of damage, but Immortals still deal a great amount of damage right now. And taking a look at unit counts right now, there's really nothing much. There's no meat to Avillo's army. He's got a bunch of siege tanks and a bunch of Vikings, and he's got 7 Ghosts. And really,
yeah, I know what you mean.
Other than that, it just feels just a little bit weak here. He may have overmade a little bit on Vikings now, although he will kill Colossus really fast. But once he gets rid of the Colossus, and I guess maybe the Phoenixes as well, once those fall, these Vikings are going to sit there. I guess they're going to transform into their ground mode, let's say. And then they're going to do damage as well. But Gowa's maxed right now. He's sitting off 4 base. Although we do have 2 more CCs, or 3 CCs just sitting outside, dropping mules for Avillo. So obviously increasing his production. But with charge lots, they get right up to the siege tanks right away. It's really the defense for Avillo is going to come down to key EMPs on the army of Gowa.
Alright, so one very important thing to note about Protoss right now is he's sitting on 54 workers to 68 plus mules from Terran. So, while, I mean, the army size is far in favor of the Protoss. I mean, I say far, but really, Avillo has a pretty much unbreakable position, so there's not a whole lot he can do about it. I feel the Viking count is actually a good move from Avillo. I mean, pretty much the only threat to him is the Phoenix Colossus kind of taking out all his tanks and being able to lift up his whole army. Because that's where it really gets scary with the Phoenix Colossus. Overmaking Vikings against Phoenixes is very rarely an issue. It's really one of those things you actually just want to take it down as fast as possible. Especially with Colossi. Time is really an issue because the Colossi do so much damage per second. Like, the way they tear through your army is just ridiculous, and the faster you can get rid of them, the less damage they're doing to your tanks, and Hellions and Ghosts. Avillo has unsieged his tanks. He possibly will be looking to move forward with his tanks in order to secure a further position to take more bases. But as I said, the worker count for Protoss is very low. He's got a lot of warp gates to reinforce, putting up a Templar Archives as well as more bases here. So he is preparing for the long haul. I'd like to see a few more probes. Maybe a little later on when he has more of a bank, it might be better to throw away some of the probes, but for the time being, I feel like this low probe count it's a little dangerous. He can't really, I don't think he can make full use of all this production that he has. Maybe he'll have one cycle of, 16 warpins or whatever it's going to be, but then he's going to be running dry very quickly. Neither player really moving out. Avilo moving some SCVs out quickly, retreating them as he realizes that there are Colossi outside. Colossi picking away at these tech labs. Vikings will be incoming anytime now. There are a decent amount of Blink Stalkers to pick off the Vikings. I mean, an engagement is really going to decide this game here. I mean, we're basically just waiting for a big fight. And if there is no big fight, it just kind of depends on how the players manage their units and such. But Avilo is going to move out into the map. The Colossi look very ripe for the picking by these Vikings. There are definitely a lot of Vikings here. Warp Prism actually being used to hide some Immortals, possibly to drop on the tanks. Nuke going down, in fact, but I can't find it.
It's actually in the main base here. He actually dropped a couple nukes, and actually it's actually not going to get spotted. Just barely. It's not going to take out too much, though. It takes out a couple pylons, a simulator and whatnot, and actually a second nuke from Avilo, but I think Gowa is going to be pretty akin to this. Actually, he is able to see the ghost as well. So that's going to get taken out relatively fast here. And actually, looks like...
Only sees one.
Yeah, Avilo, it actually looked like he's going to try to take a fourth base in the top left here, but that's going to get denied.
But it is going to get picked off, actually. The command center is going to... well, maybe he's just going to leave it there. That's cool, too.
We may actually get that big, huge engagement as Gowa is retreating. The Vikings are not going to get the one Colossus there. They do a lot of damage, and Avilo is forced to unsiege now. And what Gowa is going to try and do is he's going to walk back and forth now, I think. He's just going to try and get Avilo get caught out of position as much as he can. But yeah, I was like, he's going to go for it, but that's such a... don't do it. Oh,
he's going to move forward, dropping the Immortals to take tank fire. I don't think he actually did drop the Immortals in time. Everything is EMP'd, but Avilo is losing tanks and Vikings fairly quickly. A lot of the tanks are stuck there in the back. I think Gowa needs to back off before he goes further into this tank line. A lot of units going down for both sides, but actually, to be honest, I think this actually is favoring Gowa right now. If you look at the supply counts, he's down slightly, but he's got plenty of money compared to Avilo. He's got Warpins moving in for reinforcements. Zealots coming in. They'll be able to pick off a few more tanks. He's also got more bases. I mean, if he can create a quick reinforcement army and go deny, you know, Avilo's force in 5th, he would be in good position, but it doesn't look like he's actually going to be able to do that. He's remaking Colossi, which I find to be very questionable decision. There are 2 Ghosts and 15 Vikings out. I mean, to me, Immortals seem like the obvious choice in such a situation. There are also some Templar out for feedback on the Ghost, presumably, but a lot of tanks for Avilo. I mean, to be honest, I'm not really sure how these battles will play out and how these games will play out, just because I have less experience casting and playing such kind of mech games. Oh, the Templar are all evaporated by 6 Hellions. Very bad misplay by Gowa. I mean, not only are those Templar valuable resource-wise, but the energy buildup is also a very important thing if he plans to make the most use of those Templar. Avilo has taken position for basically 5 bases, and he's going to be able to hold them rather comfortably. I'm not really sure what Gowa's plan is here for this game. He is making some Archons now, which is an interesting choice, presumably mostly for tanking purposes. Still a Ghost hiding away in Gowa's main. Another nuke going down. Going to kill a few pylons, and that's about it. I mean, at this point, Gowa doesn't really have the income to use all his warp gates anyway, so I don't think it's too big a deal. I feel like Gowa is in a bit of trouble, for sure. He doesn't really have any answer to this composition from the Terran. I mean, I feel like he definitely needs to go get working on preventing mining at that top base and trying to catch Avilo out of position. He really just cannot sit around against such a composition. You really got to look for openings and do as much damage as you can. A couple Phoenixes suiciding, giving their lives for Ire. Oh, a lot of units moving in. There are a lot of charge lots. They might actually be able to take down all these tanks. All the Colossi are quickly falling, but storms going off all over Avilo's army. Supplies are rapidly dropping for both players, but Gowa's army is going to get completely cleaned up, and if you look at his resources, he is not in good position to reinforce. As I said, that low probe count really is harming his ability to mine resources for a reinforcement army. We do see a lot of High Templar being warped in. Interesting to see so many Archons warped in against a mech-heavy army. I guess he feels that the tanking power of the Archons is definitely worth their money. I actually have to agree, simply because the shield and the fact that they are not actually armored, I believe. Yeah, they're not armored, so they don't take too much damage from those tanks. Avillo pushing forward, taking out Expos.
Yeah, there's another nuke actually in the main base. Takes out that Expo now of Avillo, moving forward now with his superior position. Gowa's just trying to trade army where in a position he had a bank initially, then he lost it right away, and he moved into Avillo. I guess he got really overeager and impatient, feeling like I need to move out now. And here we go, catching the siege tanks.
God.
A little bit unsieged here, but you know what? There's a lot of siege tanks now with only a handful of immortals left. And you know what? That's going to be it, I think, now that Gowa has lost his army. He's down to 59 supply. Don't worry about that mean Pokebunny. That's funny. All right, your play is stellar by Avillo. GG is called by Gowa, and Avillo is going to move on to the next round here. And we're going to go into a quick commercial break. Stay tuned for the next round here for the Playhem $75 daily. Whew, that's your more typical Avillo game.
Yeah, interesting game. I did like his playstyle there a little more than what I have seen from him before. I mean, it was definitely a little bit more interesting of play, in my opinion. I do like how he played out that game. And after seeing quite a few cheese games in rapid succession, it was definitely a nice mix-up.
Yeah. There was I felt like there was a lot of openings though for Gowa to take advantage of Avillo. If he just had a whole bunch of charge lots, especially with such a low Hellion count, a bunch of charge lots and immortals, just would have won the game. Charge lots move in, you know, they tank the initial shots from the siege tanks. Maybe the EMPs do a little difference there, but like just mass immortal charge lot, I feel like would have crushed in that like mid game for Gowa. But you know, he sat back, let Avillo do his thing, which he does the best, and Avillo was able to prevail.
All right, so Avillo will move forward into the round of 8, where he will take on the winner of FXO Tree and Eifersuchtig. Eifersuchtig is someone I've actually played a couple times on the ladder. He actually did take out Delphi. No, wait, why? No, I'm not supposed to be joining this. Somebody invited me to a game, and I assumed it was a game to cast, but that was not at all the case. Looking at the bracket, just for a bit of update, we do have Gosu Gamers, Galaxy, formerly of Gosu Gamers, who did fairly well in last night's Playhem. Taking out Golden Light, so a nice win for him there. Mouse Marco also advancing. Oh, that's uGpSwip. So we did cast him earlier. uGpSwip is also advancing into the round of 8. Some round of 16 matches we do have are Perfect versus nYqBonk. We got a nice ZVZ going on of Call Gosu User against TSL's Hyun.
Oh, wow. Who is Rainbow? Oh no! Wait. What am I looking here?
Hyun is Hyun. This is he's on TSL Killer's account, but he is TSL Hyun.
My bad.
We've also got Zenix Pet, who is apparently Zenix Yong, but I don't think that's actually Yong, because Yong is no longer on Zenix, so that's probably a Zenix team account. So someone else is most likely playing on that. We've also got VIP moving into the round of 8. I'm not actually sure who that is. I played him on ladder. If it's the same VIP
is he Protoss? Yeah, he's Protoss. I think he's actually. I want to say he did this crazy all-in against I want to say Killer. I don't think that's right though. Against some Zerg player where he did like a Mothership, Void Ray, Blink Stalker, like +2 timing, 2 base all in. And it was like stupid crazy, and he recalled into the natural expansion on Calm Before the Storm, and madness. Pure. That's all I can say. It was just pure madness.
I
want to say it was VIP. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't know who he is exactly, but we should see his games if he does advance a little bit further. But right now we do have a TVZ shaping up here, beginning on ESV Cloud Kingdom. We are now in the round of 8, so we are beginning the best of 3 section.
Woohoo!
So we will have a nice 3-game series, well, 2 or 3-game series between uGpSwip and Galaxy, formerly of Gosu Gamers. Gosu Gamers disbanded recently, I believe, so that is no longer accurate. But we do Swip versus Galaxy, beginning on Cloud Kingdom. I love this map, so I am excited to see how these games play out. I really love to see games on Cloud Kingdom. I just love how these new maps produce such interesting games. And I'll be interested to see how they play out. Maybe Swip will go for another 2 racks. Maybe that's his stable opening all the time in TVZ. Maybe he just use it to get through the early rounds. But we will see. Galaxy definitely did show some nice play yesterday, although he did get taken out by Hyun, who did win yesterday at the first round of best of 3. And we'll see how it goes. Spawning in the bottom left, we have uGpSwip as the red Terran. And in the top right, Galaxy, the blue Zerg.
Wow, just making it just real easy on me. I was like, oh, I'll just wait and do some introductions, and then Pokebunny's like, oh yeah, I'll introduce him too. I'm like, oh great, Pokebunny, man, you're such a nice guy. Talking about the map and everything. You know, I cannot wait to actually play on the ladder. I haven't got a chance to play on the ladder, just to play on Cloud Kingdom against other people now. I'm itching right now to play StarCraft, which is. Well, I'm not going to say which is not a normal feeling, but I'm really itching. And this is probably one of my favorite maps, mainly because of the Space Shark. Obviously, Space Shark rules all and overlooks all on this map. So that is why the main reason Blizzard actually added this to the map pool, because Space Shark, who is obviously CEO of, well, the world basically, of space, he told Blizzard, he's like, Blizzard, yo, hook up my map. Get me in the ladder and give me some more exposure.
I hate to break it to you.
What's up?
But the ladder version of this map does not have Space
No. You just,
there's no Space Shark on the ladder map.
No.
This is
Pokebunny.
the ESV version.
What do you? No.
I
no,
completely...
No. God damn.
I've ruined your life.
Oh my god.
You'll never be happy again. Oh right. Well, we do have an early gas from Swip, so he won't be mixing it up this time around. Quick Tech Lab,
Reaper?
So seems like we'll have some Reaper play. Fast expansion out of Galaxy, relatively late pool, pretty standard going for the economical opening. Drone chasing around a hurt SCV before making an extractor.
Yeah, he didn't want to lose that drone. He was like, oh, okay, well, it's not going to be worth it. There's a whole bunch of SCVs. I've denied a little bit of mining time, so it's time to move on out. Okay, finally Swip's going to scout this hatchery here. No gas quite yet from Galaxy. Playing very, very mineral intensive for the time being. Obviously, that's what's going to come. 2 Reapers are on queue right now for Swip. Man, I just love Reaper openings so much. I know Thorzane actually likes doing like a 1 Reaper, just making 1 Reaper and then like just command center. So whatever.
Yeah, that's
so awesome.
Very standard opening. I mean, these Reapers give some map control. They are basically effective against anything up to slow lanes. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
No gas yet for Galaxy. I mean, the Reaper opening, the kind of things about the Reaper openings are interesting. I mean, I feel like more so than Hellion openings, you actually have to do a little bit of damage with Reapers, just because they don't quite give that. They're not quite at the same effectiveness as far as denying creep spread and forcing a lot of defense. I mean, really, the thing about Reapers is that they're very easily warded off by just a little bit of preparation, maybe an extra queen. You know, it doesn't take any investment, really, to hold off Reapers. You just have to have good positioning. That's about it. And so, therefore, the Reapers, you know... Oh, Reaper's getting surrounded. One almost goes down, the other one at half HP. But, I mean, as I was saying about Reapers, they basically leave your opponent free to drone for a really long time, which is why some players don't quite favor the Reaper openings as much. Because when you make a tech lab right away on that rack, you're basically saying, okay, I'm not going to attack you for 5 minutes. And that's kind of a dangerous thing to do sometimes against the Zerg. I mean, as you can see, he's already pulled ahead in the worker count and supply count. with many drones on the way, so he will be taking the lead in the workers. More gas, a lot of gases, in fact, going down for Galaxy, going straight up to 3. I would expect to see Ling Speed and a lair from him as soon as possible. While Swip has gone up to 4 racks.
Yeah,
And is getting stim and 2 reactors.
Pardon me. Bunker at the front now here for Swip. Just recently dropped 2 mules down. He's going to be relying, obviously, on your heavy Marine Corps. Obviously, you know, clearly that is what you rely on as a Terran player against the Zerg. Unless, of course, you're meching. But mainly, as we can see Swip here, in this case, he's going to be going for Marine. What I would assume to be Siege Tank with that factory. Just now completing here. One thing I got to point out here, Galaxy making a handful of queens, actually making 2 extra queens. That's really going to get his creep spread rocking and rolling here. You can obviously see already it's almost moving up towards that 3rd base. So he's going to have a lot of vision on the map here. And that's going to be... I'm always very hesitant to engage Zergs on creep. I just feel bad. I'm
totally.
like, I don't want to step on this stuff. It's gross. They can go a whole bunch faster. I don't feel safe at all. So that's going to be one little advantage for Galaxy. As this game progresses on, we'll see if he keeps up with that creep spread. No doubt he intends to do so.
Oh, 1 creep tumor is taken out, 1 is cancelled, but, you know, with 4 queens, this creep spread is definitely not going to be slowed down all too much. Many creep tumors going down at the front. Queens actually pushing towards the watchtower. These Reapers may get taken out, or at least pushed back. Queens are retreating, just trying to push him back a little bit. Engineering Bay going down for Swip. He's got a reactor starport out, pumping out medevacs 2 at a time. Still no lair yet of any type for Galaxy. He's got a Baneling Nest and a Roach Horn. He does have a few roaches out. Actually, a decent number of roaches. About 12 or 13 over here on the left side. Moving across the map. I don't think he'll really be able to do any damage. Swip is also moving out at the same time. But Swip's Marine count really is not very high. I mean, I feel like it definitely could be a bit higher at this point in the game.
This could actually
Roaches...
get... Sorry, I had to interrupt you there. Roaches are actually going to come around, swing around, and flank these Marines. The Swip is going to see the number of roaches, though. And the one thing, we saw a lot of Zerglings in production for Galaxy, so it looks like he's going to go an attempted Baneling bust here. Yeah, on Swip. Yeah, I just realized that myself. So many Banelings. And actually, Swip's going to stim in here. I don't know if that's a good idea. There's so many roaches here. They're not going to be able to get at the Banelings for sure. Medevacs are coming in here for reinforcement. But now, Swip is akin to this, though, but he has really nothing for reinforcement for this wall. So this wall is very, very vulnerable here. Banelings will do a great job of actually zoning out the Marines. At least we see some very good Marine micro here, and it looks like a little indecision here from Galaxy. He's moving his Banelings now to the mineral line of the SCVs. Oh, we're going to lose almost all the SCVs at the natural expansion. It looks like the Marines will not be able to clean up the roaches here at the natural, and it looks like it might be time for Galaxy to head home. He's done so much economic damage at this time. And right now, oh no, the Banelings coming back again. The revenge of the Banelings. And it looks like they may all get taken out before they're able to explode ever so more. And it looks like these roaches will not see the light of the Zerg base yet again.
I mean, this was an interesting play by Galaxy. It felt kind of all in, but not really. He's also now putting down a macro hatch in his main rather than taking a 3rd. I'm not quite sure what you think of this. With such a delayed 3rd already, I think it's a little bit of an interesting choice. Either way, he is backing off, getting a lair, moving up to 47 workers, so he has taken a slight worker lead. The incomes are about equal when accounting for mules. Some Ling Baneling out for defense. I mean, during this time, he has established a really strong creep spread, which is one thing that, you know, normal all... Well, I wouldn't call it all in. Normal kind of busts like this don't tend to have. But he has established strong creep spread, which will be very useful when transitioning into a standard macro game. You know, he'll have sight of the Terran attacks. He'll have that speed boost that is essential for defending such pushes. Although a lot of his fresh creep tumors are being taken out. Some Lings moving around the back for maybe a counterattack. I don't think that will... I mean, that will definitely be denied as there are multiple tanks sitting in this natural along with a wall. Both players playing relatively standard. Neither has started a 3rd base at all yet here at the 13-minute mark, so both are going to be doing some fairly heavy 2-base play. Drop moving over here to the natural. Ling Baneling is near. Oh, one in the main as well. So a double drop here from Swip, doing significant damage. A lot of Lings falling. Baneling's running around, not sure where to go.
Actually, that Spire was actually getting target fired down by Swip,
yeah.
and the one Baneling will only connect on 3 Marines here. More and more reinforcements here pouring on for Galaxy, but it actually looks like he may. No, he's not going to lose the Spire. Just barely gets it saved in time here. Good defense by Galaxy, although he did lose. Let's take a look at the worker count right now. Only 4 workers from that attack, 56 to 49. So actually, Swip evening up the worker count. He's actually pulled ahead in supply, 122, and he's going to be moving across the map. Ooh, this is scary.
Yeah, this is definitely a scary push. 8 meters on the way. He does have money for a few more if he so chooses, but he will be getting those Banelings instead. I don't think he yet has Baneling speed. Let me check on that. Oh, he does. I lied. He does have the Baneling speed upgrade, so that will definitely help a lot in cleaning up this push. He's also got decent creep spread still, even though some of it was denied a bit. So he should be alright for the time being. A little lacking in the creep spreading here in the last couple minutes. I mean, he had so many creep tumors so early, but then he didn't seem to add to it as the game went on. Baneling's moving in on creep versus these Marines, along with the Mutas. Very well played by Galaxy. These Mutas will be able to clean up all the tanks and medevacs, or at least the tanks, as the medevacs fly away rather quickly. Swip is rushing to picking up all the tanks. A very nice move, and he's rushing to reinforce, but Baneling coming in. Baneling's mostly going off on the tanks, but he will be able to clean up these 3 tanks. It looks like, not quite sure about that. Yeah, all the tanks do fall, and supply is still heavily in favor of Swip. Oh, there's a drop in the main that I did not even catch. Actually taking down a horde of drones. Zerg down to just 33 now. So very well played by Swip, pressuring multiple locations. He'll be surprised to see that the 3rd is only just started. But I mean, he himself actually has not yet started the 3rd, so that's a little bit interesting. Neither of these players opting for any semblance of a quick 3rd base. Galaxy holding on slightly. He's down 30 supply, but he has taken out, a bunch of tanks and medevacs, which are kind of the key units that the Terran has built up, especially when he's on 2 base. But quite a few more will be marching across the maps. There are actually 2 factories for Swip, so he will not be lacking tanks at all here. And Swip definitely will have a strong push coming here, as Galaxy does not have a whole lot. I mean, he's got a solid Muta count, enough to do some damage, but he'll really need some key Baneling explosions in order to take care of this push. Looks like he might go for a counterattack, or at least some kind of flank, moving around the map, taking out the Marine at the watchtower. Still no 3rd for him, however, and I mean, as these minerals in the main mine down, not a whole lot he's going to be able to do.
Oh man, I'm just exasperated. There's just been constant pressure here by Swip now. He's like turned on the pressure switch that he's had. Now wanting to deny that 3rd base mainly, and it looks like actually that 3rd base is going to go in place of where, let's say, a 4th may happen. Not your typical 3rd base, let's say. And I guess Swip is just content sitting on 2 base right now. He feels like he has a pretty decent lead. He's actually moving back, and looks like he may be regrouping with some more reinforcements, reinforcing Marines and siege tanks. But it looks like he may actually get met in the middle of the map here with the siege tanks. Not siege, but actually no. Galaxy chooses to move back here. I think that was the wise decision there. I think Swip had a pretty good Marine spread. Obviously not perfect, but I don't know if there was just enough Banelings there to deal the necessary damage, or there was not enough Lings for that prolonged damage that may come in after the Banelings have detonated and died. And again, denying that 3rd base, Swip doing a very good job, and actually it looks like I was going to say we may see a counterattack, but no, those are just Mutas flying across the middle of the map here.
Oh, I think there will be a counterattack.
Oh,
in fact,
now it
Mutas
will be.
And Lings and Banelings are going to be moving into the natural any second now, although Swip has fallen back after taking out this 3rd base. I mean, Galaxy just has nothing really he can do. I mean, he's got no 3rd, no real huge army. I mean, not a whole lot he can do at this point. I feel like he's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, there's not much. I mean, there's so many Marines right now, and you can just look at the ground force of Zerg purely. there's a lot of Banelings, but there's other than that, having a lot of Banelings, there's only a handful of Zerglings. So if these Banelings do not connect and they get focus fired down by the siege tanks, it's going to look like pretty dire straits for Galaxy. So right now, Galaxy has almost got to double expand to get back in this game, I feel.
Yeah.
He's down in supply by a lot, and actually he's going to get caught so close to being within siege tank range. Oh, man, I got really, really nervous there for a second. I thought he was going to lose all his Banelings, and that is the heart of the swarm. Hey-yo! Yes!
Actually, I mean, one thing to note about both these players, the upgrades are fairly poor. I mean, Swip is sitting on 1-1, but more importantly, Galaxy has not even started a single upgrade. Well, he's got +1 on the mute is about to finish, but as far as the ground upgrades, he's been sitting at 0-0 this entire time. No evolution chamber. There is an evolution chamber, but no upgrades even in progress. So no evolution chamber upgrades in progress is what I meant to say. And a Thor gets a big hit on those mutas, taking out a huge chunk of their HP, and the Marines are moving over to take out a few of them. Galaxy is moving in. The Marines are in a bit of a vulnerable position, but the tanks right behind do blow apart all the Banelings, and Galaxy is definitely in severe trouble. He actually has finally managed to establish a third, so kudos to him for at least not dying until he's taken his third. But Swip has also taken a third and has a significantly larger army, so I would say Galaxy is still in a world of trouble.
Yeah, he's feeling the world of hurt right now after losing a bunch of his army to that defense. Obviously, his mute is getting taken out there by the Thor, clumping them up, and then now he's got to be really worried. Like, he's like, where's the Thor? Is it coming? Is it just there strictly for defense? I mean, obviously we know it's there just for defense for the time being. And again, another Thor hit, and Magic Box goes over the Thor now. Looks like he is going to lose that, in fact, but Marine's actually in the bunker doing a lot of damage. A lot of Mutalisks actually do, in fact, go down. Looks like Swip is just content to letting these Mutas do whatever they want. They're going to bounce out now out of that natural expansion. Meanwhile, Swip, did not actually scout that. Yeah, now he's going to go down to that fourth base. That is going to get denied.
Taken out rather quickly. I mean, the supplies tell the whole story. I mean, he's just building up a huge army, well-upgraded Marine tank. I mean, if you look at the army value as well, heavily in favor of Swip. There isn't a whole lot Galaxy can do, just waiting for impending doom of this Terran Death Force. Lings getting eaten up one at a time as they move to take out these Marines. So many Banelings getting used up just to take out a few Marines. And I mean, the army of Galaxy's not close to teching, not close to expanding. He really just has nothing going for him in this game.
I'm actually surprised. Players don't really choose to take out the destructible rocks normally in the middle. We can see a lot of scans there by Swip. We saw we actually missed it. Actually, you know what? As these Banelings come in here, not enough connector on the Marines. This Marine army that's left over here, that's going to end the game for Galaxy. We saw a lot of scans by Swip there because Galaxy actually had a bunch of burrow Banelings all over the map, and Swip, akin to that, actually got lucky, I think, with his initial scan. Was able to take out that initial batch of Banelings. So we're going to move on to game number 2 here coming up right away. Of course, that was the first game of best of 3. I mean, that went on for a pretty long while. So let's go hit up a commercial break. We'll be back after these short messages. I love doing that, man. I love throwing the commercials like that where I'm like, I'm going to use my TV voice. Heyo.
So we are sitting at 1-0 for Galaxy versus Swip, or 1-0 for Swip. One round of 16 match still yet to complete. TSL Killer versus Zenex Pet. So that should definitely be a solid game down there. Avillo versus Tree over at the top of the bracket. Clash Messiah versus VIP in the middle. And those are our 4 quarterfinal matches. We will be moving into Game 2 on GSL Daybreak. A very large map. It seems to be a favorite of a lot of players. We do see a lot of games on Daybreak in this tournament, especially in the best of 3 stages where the players can pick their maps. So it's definitely a player favorite.
All right. Game number 2. Both players are ready. Pokebunny, are you ready?
I am definitely ready. Here we go for game number 2 of Swip versus Galaxy on GSL Daybreak. I am Pokebunny, and with me is Psylence,
Yeah.
casting the Playhem Daily number 1,000,000, because there are infinite Playhem Dailies for everyone.
Infinite, infinite, infinite. Oh, right. In the top right-hand corner. Oh, whoa. What is he? What is Swip doing? Never mind. In the top right-hand corner, we have our red Terran player. He is uGpSwip. And in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue. I was gonna say purple. Blue Zerg player. GGNet Galaxy. Or we'll just call him Galaxy because he's formerly from the team Gosu Gamers.
Full screen.
Damn it. Damn it. Sorry, guys. You know what? I try so hard. I got so excited that I saw Swip going for this proxy barracks, I guess it is. Or,
well, this is really weird. He sent the SCV out super early, but then makes the supply in his main.
Oh, what?
Oh, looks like he's gonna